Tēnā koutou. Tēnā koutou katoa. The thumbnail, I think I might leave it up. It caught me in mid-Pukana. My name's Rex Landy, and I'm a TERF. Mauri ora. A few musings for you today on Anzac Day, our lest we forget. It's a bit of a strange day. The ultimate sacrifice of freedom so that we could have drag queens and sex clowns reading to our children. Fuck. So I'm back on Twitter, but for how long, who knows? That's a bit of a, oh, and I made the TERF hit list. Hilarious. I've already been given 7 days, unfortunately, because, well, it's the Melbourne International Comedy Festival people that just boil my piss. Fucking gurning hypocrites. They've got all these crocodile tears for Barry, our beautiful Barry Humphries. Rest in peace, you beautiful, beautiful man. And he was a fearless advocate for women and children and our safety. You know, 4 wives, everyone going on about him and tarnishing his legacy. You know, his fucking wig was funnier than Jordan Gray. His wig was smarter than Jordan Gray, the bepenised, shriveled sack man who was, you know, got his tonka out on national TV. Old Draco Malfoy's dad likes him, doesn't he? We heard all about that. It's a bit strange in New Zealand anyway, at the moment. Regrouping, and as I spoke in my last video, you don't go and paint the roof or tidy out the spare room or do the garage straight after you've had a fever or you've got a broken leg. You know, we're in a bit of a, for me, a bit of a holding pattern seems to have taken place, this holding pattern of what next, and to shore our strength up again. And I thank you for the shout out, Emily Steele. Laughing at my response to the New Zealand Herald. What disingenuous dog-licking mutts they are. They really are. Been working on a little song. Yeah, it's all a bit everywhere, isn't it? You know, but like I wanted to be a little girl. I asked my surgeon, what will I be? Will I be pretty with a stink ditch? Here's what he said to me. Take your sad, sorry ass the furthest away from me. Oh, fuck, I'm a terrible singer, isn't it? Aren't I? Your broho, it smells, you see. Your whole life's a farce. You can't pee. A woman you can't be. So never mind your case, sarah. Your broho, you'll never be a woman. So, yeah, back on Twitter, already got 7 days. I have noticed the atmosphere there. It's fun again, almost as if the reinstatement of reality is what 90% of us knew anyway. Hello, Sal. Kia ora. Hey, beautiful. Sorry, that was such a shitty rendition, but, you know, like, I just make up songs and mock them, you know, because I will not give a scrap of respect to this. I cannot respect something that is erasing our existence, and I will not respect stupid, like, patently ridiculous men in dresses saying, well, my feminine experience. You know, the closest they're going to get to womanhood is when someone like me calls them a runt with a C online. It's the closest you're going to be. Kia ora, Julie Soto. Hello. And Barry Humphries, what a beautiful man. And to have his whole legacy gaslit this way, it's the gaslight that's getting me. And I'm talking about Barry Humphries and the Melbourne Comedy Festival, you know, saying we're going to do a tribute to him now. Go fuck off, you know. What the hell? Any tribute, there's very few funny people that could do a tribute fitting for him. There's probably Dave Chappelle and Ricky. Our police minister here, the new police minister, Ginny Anderson, you know, is she like auditioning for a medieval painting of Madonna and Child or something? Because they've all got that clueless eyes skyward look, our ministers. I'm not sure what it is, their delusion. It's pretty complete. And thank you. Our couple of reports are coming in off Twitter. The ratios are glorious. I've seen a couple of tweets of people who've got their decisions back from the BSA, the Broadcasting Standards Authority here. And a bit like when the Free Speech Union hired an excavator to dig deeper, dig a bigger hole for the sex clowns, they're going to double down, worse than the Colonel, these idiots at our BSA. And hello, Rose. They have upheld the sign of the tracksuit. Should we start calling it that? You know, that hate sign. It's the sign of the tracksuit or the sign of the hoodie. There we go, the sign of the hoodie. And they've doubled down and said, yes, she used it more than once, which means she adjusted her clothing more than once, Posy Parker. How dare you? How dare you adjust your clothes? So there's no room at the end there, even though there's a few people on our BSA that are getting a little bit fed up with the BS. There have been murmurings, but overall, our complicit and lamestream media are going to double down and say, that's it, too bad. You know, too bad, she's a Nazi, and so are you. But looking at Twitter just on my little foray the last 3 days before I got 7 days. Anyway, yeah, it was the Melbourne, because I just went, oh, you had that horrible tranny or whatever, transy. I say transy, but they don't like TRANNIE on Twatter still. But I can hear all the reports of the few tranny technicians they've got there still. As I said, it's a long road. We've got an out-of-touch complicit media, but an out-of-touch ministers. The ministers are just shocking. You think it's bad after, you know, they're usually like this after 3 terms. The third term is where they get fuck off, we'll do what we like. Labor have, in a stunning move, done it in their second term and used all their goodwill and capital up on the scamdemic. There's things like, you know, I remember when Cindy Hardon said, if it hasn't come from us, it's not truthful. We are your single source of truth. Now, we know who said that the last time, and it was the Austrian painter who said he was the single source of truth. You know, this is the woman that says that the truth is violence and hate speech. She said that to the United Nations, so fuck. We're recovering from the effects of her and Sis Hipdick, the installed Prime Minister. He wasn't even voted in, he's been installed. So unfortunately, all those letters, I think they will have an effect, but a lot of the letters have been answered with, yeah, she is a Nazi. She adjusted her hoodie and made the sign of the hoodie more than once, so she's a witch, burn her. Oh, beautiful awakening. They're all scum. Scum rises, you see, and like any good soup or stew, you just scrape it right off the top. That's what we need to do. Called for that in 2017 or 18, and people said I was a radical. I'm like, haven't changed, still a radical. But there are no acceptable solutions for some problems. There's only bad and worse, and that's a bad solution. I think I could live with it if the next time they were all at Davos, or, you know, goodbye. In Minecraft, must remember, it's all in Minecraft. The false starting point still pisses me off about the trannies, because, sorry, I'll just put my book away. They say, you claim we don't exist. No, I'm claiming that you're mentally ill. And this is that dichotomy in the mental gymnastics these people put themselves through for the cult, is that I'm not sick, I'm not mentally ill, but I need medicine and body-destroying hormones and sometimes surgery. So if you are not sick, why do you need to see a doctor? You know, and that's that medical insurance scam and rort that these, you know, like we pay for it here in New Zealand, the taxpayer. And yes, oh, that past, do you hate women? Oh, Rose, Someone I'd like to recommend to you too is he's not focused on gender critical stuff. His name is The Activist, is his channel. His name's Randall. He's an Australian Aussie fella, and fuck, he's funny. He's very good, and he's got an honest police recruitment ad video on his. I recommend you. I can't recommend it enough. Go have a look. He's pretty good. he's a good actor. And yeah, the police. I mean, I remember when I was a kid growing up, the graffiti was help the police, beat yourself up. You know. So yes, these WEF leaders, they are chosen, and the WEF scum, they're not elected. All the alphabet mafia need to be just wiped off the board. Thank you, goodbye. You know, just, you're not elected. Why is our country sending all this money to these pigsters just sitting around in these offices dreaming up these wet dreams of human rights violations and abuses that are imaginary, you know, like misgendering someone? Fuck off. It's not a crime. I don't care. You can make a law. Make the law. I'll just laugh my fucking head off as I go to jail. I will. I'll laugh. I'll be sad, but I'll laugh. I will never, ever, ever grace a motherfucking man with anything feminine at all. Never. Because slavery used to be legal. Beating your wife used to be legal. Raping your wife was all good too until quite recently in some countries, and it's still legal in others. So, you know, there it is. Oh, hello, Claudia. So, yes, we do have police checks here. Beautiful. We do. The drag performers get police checked. That was thanks to Dylandy and I racking up our local council. I think they basically said, we're going to have to shut these women up because they write to us every year about every drag show. And we did. We got one, you know, where they had to check. Our local MP laughed at us when we said that. Said, oh, yes, we should start checking all the members of the audience too, see if they've got a record. And we said, well, they're not interacting with the children. And she just laughed and sneered at us. It was just disgusting. So, like I say, at Ginny Anderson, you know, the woman is never going to use a public toilet outside the Kuru Lounge like Deb Russell. I've been given a few photos, thanks to Dylandy. She's given me some to download. When I'm allowed back on Twitter, I'll make a thread, because there's a thread by Nick the Dick. I don't know, that's probably his handle. But anyway, Nick has got a list. There's 35 or something prominent New Zealand women who support trannies. And I'd really like all of their pictures. I'd like to get all the pictures, but I'd like the thread too, if someone can find it and put it back on my timeline, please, because I'd like to do a tweet thread of them and go, these are the top twins. They're lesbians who support the rape of other lesbians. This is Deb Russell. She likes surgery for children. This is Kitty Allen. She thinks men raping women in jail is totally fine. So I'll be doing a savage tweet thread like that, because that's what they are supporting. This is not about trannies and that false starting point. I'm not saying you don't exist. You're right in front of me, mate. We're not fucking delusional. We can see you, but you're a man in a dress. The false starting point is I say you don't exist. No, you're mentally ill. And that's that dichotomy of having to be ill for the medical scam to take effect for your insurance company, but you're stunning and brave and being your true self by taking all these body-destroying drugs. Children don't need cancer drugs if they don't have cancer, and Lupron is cancer drug, prescribed off-label. So, yep, another bit of a rambly one, but I'd like to let you know I've started weaving again, and I've been in my garden. It got a big revamp and it's fucked as far as I think. But anyway, I started an exciting new project to rebuild it from the ground up. So I'm framing it like that, and got some little plants and some seeds, and I've just been back in my garden. Oh, Liz Kuri, no, Tos, hey, Stones, no, she is, sadly, she's a lesbian. She's a traitorous, quizzling lesbian, Kuri. The bully, she's under investigation now. I think it's just a power move by the Peens, because the Peens are out of touch and really fucked. You know, when you can see Marama Davidson walking along, and it's this white man, all the problems in the world, and her fucking wobbly head. Fuck off, Marama. You fucking deluded bitch. Yes, I'll call you that. You've been called a cunt. I'll probably say it to your face if you were actually brave enough to talk to me. I'd call you a bitch. And you're not a babe in total control of yourself. You are a deluded, hateful woman, I find you to be. You go on and on about cis white men, and your last name's Davidson. Hello. I've decolonised to a point where, you know, like, I don't have the struggle anymore. Both sides of me, my beautiful British heritage and my English heritage from my father, is totally in accord with my wahine mama heritage from my mama. They're in the traces. I think of them as two heavy horses in my head, and they're in the traces and they're pulling together on this one, you know. I just find the division politics, it's called purity politics, but the division politics and that, yeah, the top twins, they support the corrective rape of lesbians. Fuck you. I know I'm winning friends and influencing people with my friendly approach, but fuck off. There shall be no quarter for lesbians who say trannies are allowed in my space. Yep, and there's like the rugby player. Wait till those trannies start playing in rugby, girl. Smashing your cousins around, smashing them, you know. But they went to a pride party with some trannies and drag queens and had a fabulous time. So that's all right. Raping women in jail is okay, because I had a good time with a drag queen. This is what the fucking problem. That's right, Butler. We're mixed with something. Absolutely. And it's the acknowledgement of loving my Māori side doesn't mean I have to hate my English side. And loving my English side doesn't mean that I have to hate my Māori side. I mean, I'm not a box. I don't have sides. But these are all aspects of me. I'd be a pretty big box, actually, if I was. But, you know, that's the thing is, I suppose, we're gender critical, but you see there's outfits that perform pedo apologists and supporters. And you see, ultimately, this is a war on children. And I really do. It's a total war on children and this denial of reality. You can tell children the sky is green. They'll believe you if they are your children and you tell them often enough, because children are programmable. And that's the problem. That's why they want them. Why them. Why the rainbow groomers and why they're so fucking successful. Because it's all glitter and rainbows and, you know, happy clappy things and joy. But, you know, once you realise you're in the cult, it's too late. There's a good article, nothing to do with trannies, but it's called Deep in the Forest by Ross Morant, Meurant. He's a ex-plod here, and his first big case was the Crew murders. And he talks of the corruption of the police, and he says, first, it's at best, if you're called on to do something questionable, like you've seen a fellow officer, I don't know, tamper with some evidence, take some coke and replace it with sugar, I don't know, you know, malfeasance. And he says, at best, you give them nothing that they can pin down, and at worst, you say something, but you never ever implicate. So, you know, this he says, and then you're a little bit further in the forest, and then the next time it gets a bit easier, the next time you're asked to cover for something questionable. And that's what I think is happening. You know, you cover, people are covering for the trannies in a way, and then they realise they're too deep in the forest. When they finally look up, Morant said, yeah, you look up, you're deep in the forest, and it's too late to backtrack. I think a lot of allies are like that. It's been one of my reckons. A lot of tranny allies are realising, what the fuck am I supporting? But 3 years of solid allyship, where do you go with that? What do you do with that? You know, it's not just the detransitioners or the trannies, you know, I believe that a lot of the allies are getting a little bit of tranny fatigue as well. You know, because this less than 1% of marginalised, oppressed people sure are punching above their fucking weight when they've got Bud Light and Ulta and Maybelline. Maybe it's Maybelline, you know, maybe he's born with it. Maybe it's make-believe, you know. They're just rubbing our noses in it at the moment, and I'm trying hard to just stay positive. And we've got some action coming, and other women's groups are doing other things here. I talk about purity politics, but there's some people I won't ever work with. It's probably most of New Zealand because I'm a bastard. Fuck here I am going, it won't work. There's lots of people that won't work with me because I'm a fucking bastard. I'm the Gordon Ramsay of turfs. I was thinking that the other day. But, you know, I'm starting to get back to self-care. Di and I went swimming the other day, stumbled on an exercise class, and next minute we were there for 45 fucking minutes. Woo! So, yeah. And I saw your comment on that, beautiful, of like the Russians are like, no, because we all know what a woman is when it's raping time, beat down time, and please can you wipe somebody's ass time. I said that to a man on Twitter yesterday. But you know what a woman is when you want a blowjob? We all do. So the ultimate sacrifice was paid by many people in my country and Australia and all around the world in the war to end all wars, the Great War today. And fuck. This is what they fought for, you know, and we're fighting a bloody rearguard action. But believe me, when you try and exclude 50% of the population so that some linebacker in linen or big fried chickenisha doesn't cry, the snapback's going to be an absolute bitch. And I'm here. Oh, thanks, Janice. Yeah, I'm not technically good enough to write back to you as Rex or anything, so I just shout out. So if people are watching this and think, what the fuck? I'm replying to some of the chat. Sorry about that, team. I turned my washing machine off so that it wouldn't cripple itself halfway through. And thank you very much for taking time to come and spend your time with me today. And that's where I'm at. There's action coming. And, you know, we're never going to stop. We're never going to give this up. And I say it often, but, you know, it is like a big super tanker. The tranny super tanker is out to sea, can take 2 or 3 miles to turn one of those suckers around. And because the legislative capture, and so we've got the politicians, the lamestream media, plod, and education, and the judiciary, all against us. You know we like the hard chew, but fuck. The education is the biggest thing, and I'd like to shout out to Resist Gender Education New Zealand. If you Google Resist Gender Education in New Zealand, if you're struggling here, there are people there who have the resources, the nous, and the love to help you help your child. All right, so I'll leave you with that, and big ups to you all. Thank you very much. Solidarity, never surrender. Modi order.